So imagine this, you're standing on a scaffolding 30 stories up in a building in the desert heat in a foreign country and it's 115 degrees. Your hands are cracked, your back is so sore, and you haven't seen your family in 7 long years. Your son only knows you through a screen on a phone. And unfortunately, your wife has gotten so used to sleeping alone. But back home, your remittance is building a house, feeding a family, and buying dreams. What's crazy is this is a realistic snapshot into the reality of millions of Filipinos right now. What kind of life demands you just leave everything behind, just to provide and make another's life worth living? This is the story of why millions of Filipinos leave the Philippines. It's about heroism, sacrifice, and a dream. What's also interesting is you'll find Filipinos almost everywhere, from carnival cruise ships in the Caribbean to small cottages in Iceland, and even on the streets of Pyongyang, North Korea. The Philippines survives because its people leave. It's like a nation powered by goodbyes. So what in the world is motivating so many Filipinos to leave? I mean, it's a beautiful country, and the friendly people, rich landscapes, and of course, family is everywhere. Well, it's quite simple. It really all comes down to one thing: money. Let's be real, without it, life is kind of hard, not just for you, but your family. It's easy to say Filipinos go abroad for better jobs, but why aren't these jobs available in the Philippines? Why does a country with such high talent and skill export its people as its greatest product? In many provinces, there are few stable jobs. A college degree doesn't guarantee anything. Overseas work isn't just a dream. For many, it's the only way to escape poverty. The Philippine economy is growing on paper, but many of the opportunities never arrive. Corruption siphons billions away from infrastructure and education. Contractualization makes full-time work insecure. Public hospitals are understaffed, schools are underfunded, and the system just isn't as good as it could be. Even the national government encourages its citizens to leave, go work, and bring money back home. The wage gap is real, and it's hard to ignore the fact that you would earn just so much more working abroad rather than staying back. For example, a domestic helper in Hong Kong earns around $600 a month. That's more than a licensed teacher or a police officer in the Philippines. In the Middle East, a Filipino nurse can earn 100,000 pesos a month. Back home, that same nurse might make 20 to 25,000 pesos. That gap creates one of the largest labor diasporas in the world. The pressure to go abroad isn't just economic, it's emotional. It's a fear of being left behind, or FOMO. For many, success means distance, and those that leave are known as OFWs, Overseas Filipino Workers. Overseas work is no longer just a backup plan, it's a cultural norm. In many provinces, almost every family has at least one member working abroad. A parent leaves, then a sibling follows, then a cousin. It's like a chain migration, but it started as a temporary lifeline. This brings me to why am I sharing my thoughts on this topic? Well, my wife's family left the Philippines when she was young. Her father wanted to build a better future as an engineer in the majestic land of Qatar. They got on the plane and made that leap. As a result, it impacted her and her upbringing, carving out a unique outlook on life and opening her mind to a larger system of the world. This was a sacrifice for her father, having to leave the family for some time in the beginning. Fortunately, the chain migration brought the whole family back together abroad in Qatar. Along with supporting themselves, they also wanted to care for their extended family back in the Philippines and wanted to provide for their well-being. Remittances, or money sent back to the Philippines from abroad or any other country, pay for homes, weddings, tricycles, even local businesses. In many ways, migration has replaced the national development. Last year alone, OFWs sent back over 34.49 billion in remittances. That's more than tourism, mining, or agriculture. It keeps the peso strong. It pays for cars, homes, private schools, and even election campaigns. Even though Filipinos may be earning a higher wage, they still face challenges sending money back to their families. They pay high fees associated with the money transfer, which can take a significant amount away from their original earnings. Also, OFWs are frequently targeted by online scams, phishing schemes, and fake remittance services. There may also be unnecessary time delays and fluctuations in currency exchange rates. But when a family member receives some financial help from abroad, it can really change the world around them for the good. I'm going to shoot this over to Pri, and she's going to talk a little bit about a method how to send money abroad since we're already on the topic.
Before we dive in, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Remitly. Remitly is a global money transfer service that makes sending funds to your loved ones fast, secure, and affordable. A few years ago, I tried sending money to the Philippines, and honestly, it was a hassle, expensive transfer fees, delays, and confusing processes. But since switching to Remitly, it's been a game changer. You get competitive exchange rates, no hidden fees, and peace of mind knowing that your money gets there quickly and securely. Plus, if your transfer is ever delayed, they'll refund you the fees, no questions asked. So if you're sending money from the US, do it right the first time. Use our link and code JamesxPri to get $20 off your first transfer of $100 or more.
This just didn't begin yesterday. The first wave of Filipino workers left in the 1970s during the Marcos regime under a government-backed labor export policy. He implemented this in order to make up for the lack of employment in the Philippines at the time. It was meant to be temporary, but the government saw the potential and implemented an executive order, number 857, mandating that overseas Filipino workers remit a significant portion of their foreign earnings to the Philippines through their official channels. It was about 50 to 70%, just to bolster their foreign exchange reserves. Maybe this wasn't fair at the time, maybe it was never fair. Although this is no longer is a thing, today OFWs create a multi-billion-dollar industry. Entire agencies, banks, and government departments exist just to manage the Filipino diaspora. The Philippines institutionalized the export of people. They became the country's economic backbone. This all sounds good and well, but it comes with a cost. Families separated for years, children grew up without their parents, parents growing old without their children beside them, and for some never seeing their families again. Every overseas contract has fine print, terms no recruiter ever wants to mention. The loneliness, the birthdays missed, and the I love yous that come through a screen. This is the real cost of leaving. Over 1 in 10 Filipino children grow up with at least one parent working abroad. Some are left with grandparents, aunts, or even neighbors. A box of chocolates, a pair of shoes, these become symbols of love because sometimes they're all the children ever has. Ask a domestic helper in Hong Kong what she misses most, and she won't say home, she'll say she misses her child's voice. Many OFWs battle homesickness, culture shock, abuse, and depression in silence. They laugh in video calls, cry alone in dorm rooms, and send money even when they're broke. Some endure exploitive contracts, verbal abuse, and even physical harm. But still, they stay because going home means going back to oftentimes nothing. OFWs are called heroes, but many feel invisible. They might even feel distanced from their heritage and cultural identity. When a country's best and brightest leave, what's left behind? Entire provinces have become dependent on remittances instead of industries. Skills are exported, dreams are outsourced and untapped. Potential talent is never realized. The Philippine economy depends on its own diaspora, yet offers few reasons for them to return. For decades, Filipinos have left, not because they wanted to, but because they had to. But in all this, there's a tale of hope and change. Some OFWs come home not just with money, but with experience, skills, and vision. They start small businesses, invest in farms, open restaurants, or train others. They return not just as workers, but as change makers. In some towns, local governments are creating better jobs, investing in tourism, sustainable farming, and digital education. NGOs offer reintegration programs. Tech startups are hiring remote workers from rural provinces. Education campaigns help families use remittances to break the cycle, not repeat it. The internet mixed with the skill and warm personalities of the Filipino people is opening up doors to whole new industries. This is allowing families to stay together and still earn higher wages. Bit by bit, the future is being rewritten. Not from the top down, but from the ground up. Maybe instead of just calling them heroes, we can start calling them what they are, the backbone of a global Philippine nation. From Dubai to Doha, Milan to Manitoba, Tokyo to Toronto, Filipinos are everywhere, and they're doing more than just working. They're thriving, organizing, and leading. They are shining examples of what it means to take care of those that matter. The Filipino story is no longer confined to its many beautiful islands, but what connects them isn't just sacrifice, it's strength. Change won't come overnight, but it begins in classrooms that prepare for opportunity, not departure, and policies that reward investment in local industry, not migration. To the OFWs, you are more than just remittances. You are storytellers, builders, caregivers, and leaders. The strength of their country has always traveled with you. To the ones who stayed, your role is just as vital. You hold the roots. You build the homes that are worth coming back to. To the government, to the educators, to the communities. The question isn't just how do you protect your workers abroad? It's how do you build a country they don't have to leave? You may know an OFW, maybe it's your family member, a friend, a coworker, and maybe it's yourself. It was really interesting learning a lot about who they are, what they do, and the sacrifice they go through. It opens up a whole new door of appreciation. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, just to understand, maybe you'll gain a little bit more insight of what an OFW is and what they're doing. So stay tuned for more videos. If you have any more interesting topics you'd like us to cover, we'd love to check it out. Just leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see. Anyways, we will see you guys on the next video. We love you all and take care.